Once I've sat down.
No,
I've sat down. Has he changed his mind?
That is not a point of order. The member is a very experienced member. Stop trifling with the chair. I call the honourable member Denise Roach.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise to oppose this
point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Again, I do apologise for interrupting the member, sir. The Minister in the chair, sir, did indeed make a statement. Is he now misleading the House and backing off from that statement?
That is not a point of order. I've warned the member, and he's got his first yellow card. I call the honourable member Denise Roach.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Chair. Tēnā koutou ki te whare. I join with many colleagues on this side of the House to oppose this bill. Part 1, just to recap, removed a whole bunch of requirements around social responsibility, good employer provisions, provisions of the Ombudsman to be able to check what would happen with these companies once they're partially privatised, and also removed them from the provisions of the Official Information Act. And in Part 2, we see the whittling down and the watering down of the Treaty of Waitangi. And it begs the question, why would you remove the Treaty of Waitangi provisions from this part of the Act, when in fact the government says that these shares will be sold to New Zealanders, and New Zealanders are a partner of the Treaty of Waitangi? It doesn't make sense that we need to put in special provisions to exclude 49% of our people. I'm going to talk briefly about my colleagues and our co-leader Russell Norman's supplementary order paper number 39, which actually calls for this bill to be deferred until the referendum calls for it to be deferred until the petition for the citizens-initiated referendum on the sale of the state-owned assets has been completed, because we're confident that we will be able to get 310,000 signatures. In the last 3 days, I have spent hours and hours alongside Green Party volunteers collecting signatures, and I can tell you very clearly that even National Party supporters are opposed to the sale of our state-owned assets. And they are signing this petition in droves. As of today, the Green Party in 6 weeks has collected in excess of 45,000 signatures. It's incredibly easy to collect them. I spent 2 hours on Queen Street yesterday, and during that time, I personally collected 90 signatures. That's about one every 1.5 minutes. And the conversations were over and over the same, that this is theft, selling the assets that were bought and built for us by previous generations, steals from our generation and generations to come. And this was coming very clearly from National Party supporters. In fact, I got into an argument about other parts of our policy with one National Party supporter, but he was very happy to sign the petition and to take it to his friends. A referendum would not be binding, but it is a very clear signal, and the rate of people signing the petition as it is at the moment clearly shows that this is an election issue and this government does not have a mandate to sell these assets. I'm sure my colleagues from the Labour Party, from Mana, from New Zealand First, and our allies in the Grey Power, Greenpeace and the New Zealand Students' Association are hearing these stories over and over and over again. These assets belong to us all. They are not for the government to sell. My colleague Russell Norman yesterday pointed out that the vote around the parts of this bill in committee are very, very close. And the vote will be extremely close when it comes to the third reading. Yesterday, Part 1 was passed with a 61 to 60 result. That is not democracy. That is not a mandate. That is not fair to New Zealand citizens. And it's not fair or honourable to those who've built up those assets for us, and it's certainly not fair to the generations to come who will be paying higher and higher and higher electricity prices. Selling these assets is short-sighted. It does not, in the long term, resolve any of the deficit issues. In fact, as we've heard time and time again across the House, it increases our lack of resilience. It increases our situation where we're basically reliant on debt because we lose our income-generating assets. A short-term fix, a rush of sugar, is how one person who signed a petition on Saturday explained it to me. Selling these assets...
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Minister